This is Cresso, and this is part 71 of the Human Journal, Suicide Thoughts. Yeah, I've been thinking about talking about this for a while. I just didn't know how to come about it, but I just want to share to everybody about a little bit about my background as far as I've gone through different experiences such as suicide thoughts, and I know a lot of people this time of the year, you know, we got Christmas around the corner, the holidays. It does play a role in a lot of people's mind. And in this journal, I'm going to talk about a lot of thoughts I had about suicide, and made lots of attempts. And hopefully with this audio, anybody could connect that, well, one, you're not alone. Two, there's nothing wrong with you. And that's one of the biggest lies that our minds will tell us, is that there's something wrong with you. Yeah, some people say you need professional help and that, but I'm talking about, like, it's like you're not at fault, let's just say. And you know, just looking back, you know, just going through these, I don't know, for so long I've gone through these feelings, and trying to figure out where to start more on this topic. Well, let me just get straight to it. Suicide, you know, when I first began starting having suicide thoughts, it was in my earlier year in junior high school. I kept staring at the window. I was very depressed. Didn't understand why I was feeling sad. But I quickly analyzed myself, and I realized that I'm going through some downward emotional feeling. Then, you know, I started seeing, you know, school, you know, different public school have the, what do you call it, therapists and stuff. Used to talk about things. But the heart of the whole thing with the depression, it started off was, you know, things I was going through at home. Some of the things I'd gone through that triggered the depression, and then along with the suicide thoughts, was I've been through physical abuse. It's one of the craziest, wild thing I've been through in the beginning of my human experience. A lot of it, just going through lots of low part of consciousness experiences. Just being abused, and you know, a lot of stuff I'm putting in more detail in my book. Not so much my short story, but my book. And by the way, a lot of the stuff I'm sharing in all my Human Journal parts is basically a little bit of a tidbit of my book. Anybody that comes to that point reading my book, and you compare my videos and audio, you're going to see is I'm giving a lot of tidbits about me. But it's not really about me so much, but it's about people. It's about the human part of consciousness, you know, awaken. You know, it's the bigger picture about life. So anyway, to get back to the topic. Yeah, you know, I just felt, you know, just going through stuff at home and child abuse and a lot of stuff I was going through while, you know, it's not just the depression, but I was going through a lot of, I started noticing a lot of anger, an increasing amount of anger within me. And again, a lot to do with the physical abuse. And as many times I wanted to retaliate, you know, I wanted to, and by the way, if you're wondering, like, well, who's the one that abused you? Is it your father, your mother? No, it was my half-brother. And he The thing with him is that he was physically abused or some degree. So it's kind of like, somebody, it's a classic way of somebody was physically abused, they pass it on to somebody that maybe could be close to at home. So a lot of stuff that I was going through, physical abuse by him, and obviously he's older than me, I was going through a lot of fear. I had a lot of anger started building up. And I wanted to, at the time, I wanted to kill him. I had many opportunities. I had opportunities of, I had a aluminum baseball bat in my room, and I wanted to break his legs. And yeah, I had many opportunities. And the thing is, it wasn't because of being in jail that stopped me. No, I have other things. It's just other forces within me that really prevented me from attacking, doing something to either to damage him or kill him. Back then, I thought of an idea of death, even though nobody dies. But the thing is that I wanted to kill him, or I wanted to literally cripple him permanently. But you see, I don't want to go so much with the anger so much. In this journal, I want to talk about the triggers of suicide thoughts that came. It was more like an aftermath, as far as the guilt. I was feeling very low of myself. I didn't like myself a whole lot. And a lot of reasons, one of the whole big mechanism of me wanted to commit suicide, because I wanted to leave this world. I knew in my heart, I didn't understand what exactly in detail of the dimension that I experienced before this dimension. I just knew that the place that I experienced was complete peacefulness. It was utterly peaceful. And I wanted to rejoin that again. I just didn't know how. I wanted to literally commit suicide. I was going through a lot of pain, a lot of stuff, a lot of conflicting emotions. It's a thing that I'm hoping that anybody that's listening to this that could connect. And again, you're not alone. The thing with me in my situation is that I was going through a lot of conflicted emotions as far as, I always talk about that I reincarnated from a different humanoid race. And a lot of the, you could call it belief systems and the feelings and just different things that was embedded in my spirit of that life experience was conflicting with the emotions and things that I was influencing this dimension. So I was going through a lot of conflicted feelings. And then again, the overall emotion I was going through is that I wanted to leave this place. I want nothing to do with this world. I didn't know how I got here. I started recognize that a voice, I started recognizing another type of force that was really pushing me to commit suicide. And I could just call it, I could describe it Satan, or whatever, a demon, however you want to call it. But it was literally really forcing me, not, like suggested heavily, to just do it, and I made a lot of attempts to commit suicide. I tried to overdose myself. I kind of swallowed some pills, but nothing happened, obviously. But I put a gun in my face. I grew up in a household with guns at the time. And I was scared, but I had the gun. I knew where my parents hid the gun, and I picked it up. It was a .25 pistol. So I put it in my face. I tried. And obviously, so, through the years I kept trying. I've seen therapists. Um, you know, they're the therapists that I've seen serve nothing but an outlet to express. I have to take a lot of great trust. My relationship with my mother here in this dimension, that it was just going south. We weren't getting along very well, and a lot of stuff that I've gone through growing up. I mean, I know I have a friend that we email each other, and he tells me things about what he goes through in his household, and I listen to what he's saying, and I understand how you feel. You know, I understand it's challenging a lot. You know, you're in a situation, you want to leave and you don't know how to leave. It's either because of money, or maybe you just don't have enough courage. But I wanted to leave too. You know, growing up, you know, at a certain age, I wanted to leave, and yeah, it's just, it was difficult. You know, in the household, lots of arguments, violence. It's just, how you call it? It was a dysfunctional family. And I talked to other people that have dysfunctional family. It seemed to be acceptable for a lot of people at the time through the years. I didn't find that natural though. But yeah, I just want to give a rundown real fast about the suicide thoughts. I have many. I try to throw myself in front of the train. You know, the local trains in New York City. I tried that. I stayed around the train station, and I was sitting down, waiting for every train to go by, trying to build enough in me to do it, and stayed there for an hour in the train station sitting. Didn't do it, obviously. I tried many times to jump over the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was a battle spiritually. It was. You know, before I continue on with the Brooklyn Bridge, you know, I was going through different experiences too, you know, and in my early 20s, right, you know, around, I guess, in the mid-90s, I joined this Christian church, and, you know, I was starting to meet a lot of people. I had lots of friends in this life that I've never thought I ever had so many friends. A lot of contacts, phone numbers, and all that. But even though I continuously on with this Christian belief, you know, I got the memo as a Christian. Life is still not going to be easy, and it's like the memo I got when I got baptized into a Christian, that you're basically still in hell, and you know, an idea of hell. You know, Satan's going to continuously pursue you more, attack you. And I experienced those things. So when I was going through depression, and the depression, you know, I call that depression a two-headed demon, because one part of the depression is complete sadness, and the other head is just rage. So I call that the two-headed demon. It still lingered around, and to make it short, a couple of years later, as a Christian, I was going through some stuff. I moved out of New York. I lived out in the Midwest. I was engaged at the time. You know, obviously I'm not seeing her anymore, but you know, I moved out of state for the first time, and I was going through a lot of stuff between the situations in the church, the gossip. I was starting to see the ugly truth about just the whole Christianity, but the congregation, I was starting to see the unmasking stuff. And while that was happening, it triggered the depression I was feeling. And it gave me more of the reason to commit suicide, that I wanted to commit suicide. And dealing with some of the people, the members in the church, especially out in the Midwest, they didn't really know how to deal with someone like me. I was going through, a lot of stuff was coming down to the point that it's like I have so many mountain things, I have all the momentum to just literally do it. You know, through the years, a lot of people, even my ex-fiance, a lot of people say to me, you know, say, Cressel, you know, you're very strong. A lot of stuff that I've been through, I haven't expressed all of these things in my audios, but a lot of stuff that I've been through, even growing up, I mean, just sharing to everybody, don't take it that I'm boasting. I never forget, just to go back, before I continue on with the church experience, but to go back when I was like maybe 17 years old, when I was having, the relation with my mother wasn't very good. She was going through a lot of stuff emotionally too. I never forget the therapist. He was surprised that he asked me questions like, do you use any drugs? I said to him, no. Do you drink? I said no. A lot of things, because a lot of stuff that I was sharing to this therapist, he just couldn't believe that even though I was going through stuff emotionally, he just couldn't believe that I haven't done any of these things. I just told him I just didn't have the desire to do it. I didn't have the desire to use drugs. I had the opportunity. I mean, I could have done it, but I didn't. As far as drinking, it just wasn't my thing. The only thing I was going through, again, is just a lot of depression and suicide thoughts. So to go back to the church, yeah, a lot of people would tell me things like, you know, they would say that I'm very strong and stuff. I didn't really want to care. I didn't really believe it. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't really feel strong. I felt like a piece of meat in this dimension, between dealing with, you know, this is how I felt. You know, I do believe in these things. I did felt like a piece of meat dealing with demons. And then you know, I mean, shucks, I had demons. I had a demon confronted me, tell me things that it owns the churches. It owns everything. You're literally outnumbered. This demon knew what I was and what life I came from. And it wanted to, I felt the purpose that it wanted to take me out, as well as that I wanted to take myself out. I wanted to leave this world. But yeah, I did felt like a tailspin. Like the situation in church really, because the whole thing about worshiping some God, an idea of a separate God at the time that I believed, even though I questioned it. But I was worshiping a God, and I was asking God to please help me. I was literally begging God to take my life. There's times that I even cursed that God. Not realize at the time that I didn't really know who God was. Even as a Christian, I didn't. It goes to show that I'm not the same being that I was now compared to then. So, yeah, you know, I cursed God. I cried. I had people in the church turn against me because of the depression. I had people, even in the church, compare me to some wacko, some crazy nut that just, like, you know, you hear the news, some crazy lunatic that a lot of people describe as people that just literally go out of control and start shooting people and then shoot themselves. Yeah, I was being compared by those people. You know, that's what I heard. More and more the reason, the momentum that was just given to me to just commit suicide. And between that, I was questioning a lot of loyalties of the friendships that I had. I was confused. about where I'm going to end up if I do die. And that's the thing too. I felt so trapped. I felt trapped being in this dark pit, this pit that called Earth, and this idea of hell that I've been literally spoon-fed through Christianity. And I didn't know what to do, you know, and I was literally trapped. I felt so alone. Between that and the holidays and past memories and that and feeling of rage and all those things I was going through, I wanted to give up. I have every reason in the world to give up. I was angry at these spirits. I have other spirits within me that was barring this other spirit was trying to push me to commit suicide. So back to the Brooklyn Bridge. It was a battle. I felt weak, completely weak. While I have other spirits was aiding me against other spirits. It was weird. It's just interesting. If I could just draw a picture of what it looks like. And that's why I feel like my book and my movie would basically, it will definitely give an idea of my life experience in this world. But I felt so pushed to do it. I kept hearing this loud voice to do it, to jump. You're a piece of garbage. You're nothing. You're a loser. Even your own God doesn't want to be with you. Things like that. You're stuck in this world. And stuff continues. I was sent in this world to be punished. Didn't understand why. Again, at the time, I didn't know who I was. It's a far cry compared to today. I have no idea that I'm the one that put myself in this world. So to go back, yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot. I wanted to commit violence. I wanted to hurt people. But there was something in me that didn't want that. I was hurt. I had a lot of pain. And that's one of the things I experienced in this human life, is pain. I signed up for it. But even though I was so down about it, I knew there was great powers looking after me, but I wasn't able to see it. I sensed something that was stopping this force that was pushing me into wanting to commit suicide, but I still didn't really see at the time. I didn't. I felt trapped. I guess when I left the Christian church, that was one of the biggest tests in my human experience. Because, you know, in the Christian church, it's, you know, I like to use this word spoon-fed because it's very straightforward. I was spoon-fed through this book, the Bible, okay, the truth, the word of truth that consciousness created. The word of truth. Anyway, yeah, it's like if something happens to me, where I'm going to end up? I'm going to be burned to hell. To go back, I have no idea what God was at the time. Literally, at the moment, I have no clue what consciousness is. I was literally, even though I was feeling depressed, and even though I was going through a lot of suicide thoughts, I was literally creating my own hell. I was creating my own hell by gravitating to other ideas to enforce the idea of a hell on earth, to enforce this, these demons. Yes, demons are real, yes. But I have no idea at the moment that all these things are tied to source of life, consciousness. These things were set up, designed. These things was designed for me to basically overcome. These things wasn't designed for me to fail. No, not at all. My higher self can't destroy me. I cannot destroy the self. The self cannot destroy self. And anybody is listening, I want you to take that in. You're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a failure. Your existence is proof that you are worthy. Maybe you may not get that from your upbringing, or maybe you may not get that from your religion teachings, but you are worthy. You are worthy the things that your mind can understand. And I feel like I want to cry. Not sadness, but joyfully. I just wanted to tell everybody because I just feel like I'm choking up here. But, you know, I'm in this human body. I know I'm much more than human. But at the same time, I could connect to a lot of people. We all came from source of life. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. And I just want to tell everybody, you know, love yourself. You know, these demons that a lot of people talk about, they're there for a reason. They're there for a reason for you to overcome. That's what they're there for. These demons can't defeat you. Again, I want to emphasize that everything comes from source of life. There is no separation from dark and light. As much as mankind wants to believe that there's a separation from dark and from light and darkness, there is none. But your existence, everybody, and I'm saying this to myself because I have, believe it or not, even today, I have my own moments. You're not meant to fail. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, you're suited up in this human body and you're playing a role in this world. You are much more than what you are. Not knocking your physical form down. I'm just trying to say that don't attach yourself into who you are and because you're look a certain way or you're not making a certain amount of money or you don't have a lot of friends and you're going through emotional situations. You're more than those things. Way more. I can't even put it in words now. You are much more. Your existence is proof that you are worthy. You are. Whatever role that you decide to play in this dimension. Just again, understand this, everybody, that you are consciousness. Ultimately, you're consciousness. If you want to if you're a depressed individual that want to commit suicide, you know, I want to say this again. Keep in mind about your existence. Okay? I will say this carefully, and I don't want to get anybody confused for the moment. Nobody dies. Okay? Nobody dies. Somebody commits suicide, you're not dead. Now, I have to say this carefully because I thought about this, that I want to share these things to people and for people that's going through certain experiences. I'm not encouraging everybody to jump off the building. I'm not. That's not my place. I want to encourage everybody to do something that's uplifting for you. Even you in this physical human form. Do something that's uplifting for yourself. Don't let your own mind dampen you. You understand? I was talking to another subscriber that commented in one of my videos. And on my ayahuasca, actually my ayahuasca clip, I think his name is Infinite Oneness. I think it's Pretty cool name, username, Infinite Oneness. But, you know, he was just talking about how the mind is just programs. The thoughts are just programs. And that's what it is. They're programs. And you know the thing, too, I want to add to that, you know, everybody, you are the user. The programs are not over you. The program is the ego. So if you're feeling depressed and you're feeling like you're just not worth 2 cents, I'm talking through experience. I've been through it all. I've been through it for quite a while. And just know that who you are. Look at yourself in the mirror and just say to yourself, I love you. Get out of your head. Don't let the mind consume you. Your ego don't know who you are. You have to be that craftsman. Be that craftsman, or however you want to call it, craftsman. You know, the artist. Mold the ego into your liking. It takes work. It takes the willpower. You have it in you, everybody. You have that willpower. Okay, you are strength. You have what it takes to make a difference in your life. Now look, I've been through therapists, I've been to psychiatrists. All right, I've been to psychiatrists, I've taken antidepressants, I've been through the, what do you call it, the side effects, courtesy of your FDA drugs. I've been to the side effects, yes. I found myself in the bathroom floor crying. I didn't know why I was crying, but I realized I was going through the side effects. I don't care for antidepressant drugs. If anybody wants to take antidepressant drugs, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to take it, you know, just do the research on it, at least for yourself. And, you know, and if you want to see a therapist and a psychiatrist, if you want that, go ahead. You know, go for it. I'm not saying not to. I just don't feel the same about it anymore like I did before. I mean, there was a time that I was so angry, I was so emotionally depressed on a Saturday evening. I was lonely, I was single. I felt like a loser. I didn't know what to do. I was angry. So I called this hotline number, this get help number. I forgot what they call it locally in New York City. I called the number and I needed to talk to somebody. And that was the first time I've done this. I normally talk to a therapist that knows me, right? So I called a number. I was like, listen to them talk. I felt like the way they were expressing themselves is like, it was like all scripted. I felt so angry at them. I'm like, I don't need somebody talking to me like they're talking to a damn script. I got so angry now, I smashed the phone, I hang up. Didn't want to call again. But look, everybody, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody and that toll-free number, I'm just telling you the real about my experience, but my experience don't have to be your experience. If you want to call a number just to talk to someone and let the steam out, then go for it. I was just keeping it real in this journal, like all of my journals. And yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, we're so much more than what our own mind perceives. You understand? We have so much to offer. I could just keep going on and on. But I know the holiday is here, and it's weird that everybody's supposed to be jolly, but not everybody is jolly. You know, a lot of people feel in a certain way. I used to question this whole Christmas paradigm and New Year's. I used to hate New Year's. I don't really care for it. I mean, I look at it about the whole idea about the idea of these calendar year. I'm like, whatever. I mean, I do know the truth about life is basically timelessness, but you know, New Year's is just an experience. But to go back what I'm saying, I had thoughts about I wanted to commit suicide before the New Year struck. I didn't want to live in this earth another damn year. I felt that. How many out there felt that way? I bet a great deal of you feel that way. I mean, Christmas, I question these things. Like, why is that the holiday supposed to be so joyful and happy, but then you listen to some of these damn freaking Christmas music, and it's so subliminal, and there's certain tunes of these Christmas songs, it makes you happy and it makes you sad. It's crazy. But I know I talk about this, somebody might say, oh, you just act like a Grinch. No, I'm just telling you the truth. This is definitely a matrix. It's a program. And you're happy, and then it got tunes that makes you sad. It's like the tragedy and comedy thing, if I'm saying that correctly. You understand what tragedy and comedy is, right? It's kind of like the same thing like Christmas, for example. Happy and sad. You want to laugh, take good jokes, but at the expense of dissing somebody. Oh, I just want to insult somebody. I want to literally diss somebody. Ha 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 ha, I'm laughing. While the other person is not feeling happy. The person is the whole thing with the tragedy and comedy. The person's not happy, not liking it. What the stuff that you're talking about him or her. It's weird, right? It's a lot of weird paradigms in this dimension. But the thing is, everybody, before I close out, just look at yourself in the mirror. Write down all the good things about yourself. I know it might be hard. Just do it. Write all the good things about yourself. All right? Your existence is proof enough that you are worthy of all the blessings in this world. I will say this straight up. If anybody tells you you got to work for it as far as being blessed, that is complete bullshit. You understand, everybody? I'm going to put it nice and slowly. That is complete bullshit. You are consciousness. You are the source of all creation. You are that architect of this entire universe and beyond. Yes, that architect that put itself in a human form. Yes, you are that one. You don't have to do a damn thing to be blessed. You are blessed. So I know it's an egoic way of somebody telling you things that, oh, you got to work for it. You're not, to be blessed and all that. Bullshit. And I'm going to say straight up too, for the record too, if anybody even quotes something from a book, Bible or whatever, bullshit. Because I created the Bible. I created an idea of a Bible. I have. You have too, everybody. You create these things. You put a curse upon yourself, right? That's what we did. I want to say it before I close out. We put a curse upon ourselves to rise up. We're not meant to fail. These obstacle course that we put in front of us in this dimension, this obstacle course, again, I'm going to say, it is designed for you to overcome. So if you got a Bible, or if you got anybody, you got any paradigm tells you that you don't deserve anything good, that is complete bullshit. If you want the truth, you need to go within your heart. The truth is that you are consciousness. The truth is that you are love. The truth is that you are blessed. I don't care where you're from. You want to be a Christian? You want to play the role of a Christian? You want to play a role of a Muslim? You want to play a role as a Jewish person? That is your choice. But you're still consciousness. Every single role player in this world. And you could be a complete jackass. And you're still consciousness. I just want to close out with that. So I'm glad I did it. Felt emotional. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to part 72. Take care, everyone.